training camp.
Yeah. Week 3, I think it was week 3 when the Cardinals came here. Cardinals were not supposed to be good. Dobbs just got there. I mean, in the moment, you're not thinking about, oh, Dobbs, maybe we'll sign him next year. But, I mean, did that game just make an impression the way he played against you?
I'm sure it did on our defensive coaches.
Yeah.
It didn't on me. I go back and I look at all the snaps that he had last year and the years before that,
Right.
honestly, and so they all kind of blend together. I didn't take one game over another.
The quarterback room seemed to be pretty tight-knit last year, the year before. How is Dobbs a fit in there? And then how much of that is you making sure that it's a seamless transition, and how much of it is just the personalities?
Well, it's the guys. Josh has fit in great, and I think we knew that just based on some of what I just told Aaron. But I think we are intentional about kind of the values that we have in that room and how we're going to be accountable to each other and the reasons why we're going to do this job and why we're going to have each other's back. Because we do believe that from that room, it does permeate to the rest of the team. I've seen it go the other way, where you don't have quarterbacks who are together. That maybe there's a competition or there's a rift or half the locker room wants one over. Like that can tear a team apart faster than anything. And so I've experienced that in my career, and I wanted that to be addressed early on. And we had a unique situation 2 years ago, honestly. So I think it's a combination, but you have to have the right guys with the right value system and that are interested in the right things to make that work.
Brian, it's John and Kyle have credited you to some degree with helping them be so interested in Brock Purdy. And I was just talking to Kubiak, and he said that you had a big hand in kind of fleshing out quarterback prospects this year, and like Mordecai. I also think Mordecai's got a lot of talent. What did you like about Tanner Mordecai? What do you think of him so far now that you've seen him here?
Yeah, it's early. And I think Tanner's got a lot of ability, and we liked Tanner's tape. He bounced around a little bit. He was at Oklahoma, sat behind some names you probably know. Went to SMU, and then finished up in Wisconsin. I had a great conversation with his head coach, Luke Fickell, at Wisconsin during the process, and Luke told me that if there was one guy that he was going to stand on the table for on his team, it was going to be Tanner Mordecai, and that he came in and won the locker room, and that the guys absolutely loved playing for him. And so that had a big impact on me, quite honestly. I played against Luke Fickell. I know Luke from Ohio State. Don't always agree with Luke. Trust is a hard word with an Ohio State guy, but that was important to me. And then watching the tape, I could see where there were things that Tanner has in his skill set that would translate to what we do offensively. Now, there's a lot of things that he needs to work on and get better at. And like I said earlier, Tanner's swimming right now mentally and probably will be for a while, just like Brock did. That's just part of it. But I'm excited to see what Tanner can do. And when he gets the limited opportunities in training camp, whether he can take advantage of those.
What skill set or aspect of Brock's game have you seen develop the most from year 2 to now? From the start of year 2 to now?
From the start of year 2 to now, well, we're really not doing a whole lot out there right now, so it's hard to say what's different.
I guess to the Super Bowl run.
Okay, last year.
Yeah.
I think staying healthy and week in and week out, being consistent. I think there's a lot of things that Brock learned from what he went through his first year. That were unique, and then I think there were some things last year that he had to learn. What is it like to be in the spotlight? What is it like to be in the MVP race? What's it like to go out there on Christmas Day against another MVP and not play well, and everybody tells you how bad you are? What's it like to lose 3 in a row? Like, there's a lot of things that might be might not look like big things on the outside, but those are huge learning opportunities. And how you respond in those moments, both emotionally, mentally, does your thinking change? Does your emotion change? Do you try to do something different than you normally would out here on the practice field on a Wednesday? Those are learning opportunities. So that's, I think, where he's had the most opportunity to grow.
Did he mentioned like in looking back at the NFC Championship game and the way he was able to scramble. I realized the situation was what it was. And it's the NFC Championship game, so it's like you got to do what you got to do. But that was. But anyway, I guess I know the focus has been stay in the pocket, do not leave the pocket. And I realize this offense is probably not going to be like, hey, can Brock be Josh Allen? But is there a potential for him to use his legs more? I mean, I'm thinking like Mahomes is not a Lamar Jackson, but like the threat of what he can do affects defenses. So I don't know if that's a question, but I mean, is there a potential for that Brock could add or that element to his game and that element to this offense?
It's not that he needs to add that to his game. That's who he is.
Right.
That's who he is. So that's a superpower.
Yeah.
That you go above the coaching, you go above the X's and O's.
Right.
When that's warranted. Now you say that, and everybody looks at that, but you also, in the same breath, on the other side of the coin, you say, well, Brock was one of the most efficient passers in the league last year from the pocket.
Yeah.
So, yes and no. I think the playoffs are different. I think, you're in the regular season, and you need to stay healthy for your team, and Brock did that. If Brock would have played the whole regular season like he did some of those plays in the playoffs, I don't know that happens. So it's not an easy answer.
How is your level of enjoyment and energy for this job going into year 3 and, sort of having an excitement and a newness to it, and now you've been in it for a little bit. What does it feel like now?
Well, I can't answer that question without referencing the way the last year ended. There was a newness 2 years ago. Last year it felt like we didn't have a chance to even see if we could compete at the end of the year, and then obviously we know we got there and came up just a little bit short. So I say, how do I feel? I feel like there's unfinished business. That's how I feel. So there's an edge and a sense of urgency that I feel, that I hope that our quarterback room feels. I hope that our team feels. I think they do. So that's my first reaction to your question. That's what I feel. It's a sense of urgency.
You were at Michigan with Brady. Now you had a good hand in spotting Brock. Did you know when you were watching Brady back then? Did you see special in Brady at Michigan?
Yeah. I saw a lot of things in Tom. The first of which would not have been potential. No, I'm just kidding.
But he looked up to you back those days, huh? You were the guy.
No, Tom was. I think we knew that Tom was going to do everything he could to give himself a chance to be successful. For anybody back then to say, "Oh, I think he's going to be the greatest of all time," nobody was saying that. But I think that he was going to outwork you. I knew that he was going to outwork you. He wasn't the most talented in any area.
Sure.
In any area. Like, he wasn't the most talented thrower. Certainly he wasn't the most talented mover. But he just had an appetite to work you into the ground. And that's ultimately why he's the greatest ever.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, man, you guys got